Well, that's how you go out and make some moves, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news here on the Windy City Breeze as the Chicago Bears have signed center Drew Dalman from the Atlanta Falcons. The Bears went all in on the offensive line. 3 years, $42 million, $28 million guaranteed. It does make him the second highest paid center in the league, but you got to spend money to go out there and make money. And how do you make money? You go out there and get some wins. We got to react to this and any other news, of course, that comes across the docket. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Unfortunately, on a day where Twitter is down, we have to unfortunately leave out our Twitter family here, but appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, man, I need y'all go ahead and do me a favor and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man, as I'm sharing this up, of course, to all the socials here, getting this breaking news. Listen, this is a good move for the Chicago Bears. This is one that we expected the Bears to go out there and make. I'm not going to lie to you, contract-wise, $42 million over 3. Not a bad spot for you to be there with a Drew Dalman signing. You knew you were going to have to overspend a little bit for the Chicago Bears to go out there and get somebody. There was some fear that Drew Dalman was going to be able to be re-signed, but $14 million average for Drew Dalman is what the Bears basically end up getting him in at. I do wonder if there was a bidding war at all that was brought up here, because to me, I feel like this is a cheap spot for you to get your deal. But now you're looking at the Chicago Bears offensive line. First off, shout out to Ryan Poles for getting a deal like this done. You're looking at the Chicago Bears offensive line, and you're looking at Joe Thuney right now at your left guard. You're looking at Drew Dalman as your starting center. You're looking at Jonah Jackson probably slotting in at that right guard next to Darnell Wright. Hey, this is an offensive line that you have to go out there and make work. If you are Caleb Williams, you are now in a much better spot to me if you're the Chicago Bears than where you were last season. I know a lot of people there was this as of recent conversation on the possibility of Drew Dalman basically just being Coleman Shelton in a better situation, right? I don't follow that line of thinking. I think that Drew Dalman, to me, when you talk about him in the outside run game, it speaks to kind of what the Chicago Bears are going to be running here. I said this is going to be probably a EP kind of system for the Chicago Bears coming into this season, where they're going to focus more on the run game. They're going to try to run the football a ton here, and that's going to be really where they try to get the most out of this offense. I think the offensive linemen that you have signed speak to that. I think that the tight end that you bring in speaks to that. I think that the fact that you go out and get Joe Thuney, somebody who has been in the conversation has been in the trenches with Tom Brady, who has run that same EP system. It just makes a heck of a lot of sense to me to see the Chicago Bears go out and run that. Of course, the Eric Perkins system is what I'm referring to. I guess I shouldn't just say the EP system as a professional, but I like the signing of Dalman. I think that this is a great possibility. This is a great signing to add to the pieces that you already had in place. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I think that you got this at a great value deal here. I thought you might be spending a little bit more money to go out and get Drew Dalman because of the conversation around some of the teams that did need that center position. This is how the Bears are starting off free agency. I think that this is great for the Chicago Bears right now, and it shows a real interest in actually building up this team in what my mind is the right way, building up through the trenches. Going to be interesting to see if the Bears go out and get any defense in this at all. But I think now this is the focus, right? Okay, what do you do next? What do you do next for a guy like, or for this offense to get it back on track? Well, now it's all about the development of it, right? If maybe you're looking for somebody in that Braxton Jones spot, but it seems like Braxton Jones is probably well slotted to come back. I think you still need to have a conversation on going out there and drafting guard. I think you still need to have a conversation on going out there and drafting tackle. There still needs to be some things that are done. But right now, when you look at this Bears offensive line, it does feel like you've got that interior of the offensive line secured. It does feel like you've got that, you've still got some questions on the left side of that line. But how much now does this help Braxton Jones possibly become the kind of guy that people want to see out there? And if it is a run first style of system, Braxton Jones in the run is fine. The problem is pass pro. The problem with Braxton Jones for me has always been pass pro. Dewan Threats with a super chat. Appreciate the love. Dewan Threats says, Mac re-signed with the Chargers. Do we have any money left to target Hendrickson? O-line seems to be essentially complete. Your starting offensive line is complete. You're probably going to go out there and add some depth on the offensive line in the draft. I would still be looking to go O-line early there. I do think that there is a conversation to be had, though, on the Chicago Bears going out there and adding, trying to target a guy like Trey Hendrickson. I don't see why you wouldn't try and go out there and target a guy like Trey Hendrickson. If you can get a trade done, I think that would be well worth the conversation of getting it done. But I mean, you've completely flipped this offensive line in one offseason. Now it does. I think that there is a ton for you to go out in the draft and feel was you feel like you can go a bunch of different directions, right? Now, y'all know I'm not in on the running back conversation in the first round, but if you were telling me that there's a possible trade back scenario and our mock draft played out the way that it did, where you take Omarion Hampton in the first round, okay, whatever. I will survive because you're adding more draft capital on the back end of it. And if you're wondering why I keep looking away, it's because I keep looking to see if there is if there's more breaking news happening as we're still doing this. But yeah, listen, Heezy, I'm with you. I'm still drafting online. Or Hezzy, my bad. I'm still drafting online. I still think that that is something that you absolutely need to still focus in on, because you're talking about Joe Thuney being a 2 to 3 year player that you're going to have to re-sign, maybe a 3-year player, probably more on the 2-year side. To me, the comfort level. All right, I'm giving up on Twitter. Twitter being down is sucks today, but it is what it is. Listen, now you're in a spot, and this is what I love. This is what I love about what we've done so far in this offseason. Now you're in a spot where you have the flexibility to maybe go offensive line later in the draft and feel comfortable with it. As what's this news coming in? Free agent defensive tackle BJ Hill is signing a 3-year deal that includes $16 million guaranteed with the Bengals per sources. That is a heck of a signing right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a solid signing for them. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it is the end of the world, but that's a solid signing. Loving what I'm seeing out of Chicago Bears here. Left tackle Kelvin Banks from Texas. I do think Kelvin Banks probably projects more as a guard than a tackle, but I wouldn't be mad at taking him. I don't know if I'm as focused high now. I don't know if I'm as focused high now on tackle with kind of the conversation we're having here. But listen, there's still some good pieces out there, right? If you want to go to Josh Simmons at left tackle, I'd be fine trading back to get him. Armand Membo will not be there late. If the Bears ended up taking Armand Membo at 10, I'm excited. I think that's a kind of move that you absolutely could go out there and feel like, wow, we have revamped this entire offensive line. We have revamped this entire offensive line. That's how you do this. That's how you get in a winning situation. That's how you build winning organizations. And so we'll see. James, Pat, prepare yourself for Genty. He's coming. I don't believe so, but we'll see. Here's the thing. Your focus is on the trenches. Would it be dumb to me if you took Genty at 10? Yes, because of how many running backs there are in this draft. I think there's a ton of opportunity for you to go out and add to the running back position. But I'm not going to be naive and say that the Bears aren't going to take a running back early on. I think definitely within the first 2 rounds, because it's the kind of offensive lineman you went out and got. It would make no sense for you to go out and get Jonah Jackson, go out and get Drew Dalman, have Braxton Jones still on the roster, and go, well, you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to be the best pass pro team. We're going to have Caleb Williams drop back 650 times. It makes no sense. You've got guys that are elite at run pro, and to me, I think that that's one thing that Ben Johnson is going to do. He's going to put people in a position to do what they do best. And I think that's the best case scenario that you can hope for. We got over 100 in here. Hit that like button. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button, man. Drop a bird down in the chat. Drop a bird down if you haven't dropped the bird down. I like this. First day, right off of the bat. I mean, leading up to this, we're adding offensive line. We're going all in on offensive line as we continue. First day into free agency, first 20 minutes into free agency, boom, offensive line. It seems like you're getting the focus right. That's what we've been begging for. That's what we've been wanting to see from Ryan Poles for so long. Baki in here with the breaking news said Commanders are signing defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. That's a solid pickup, actually. That's a really solid pickup. That's a really solid pickup right there. Seahawks need to be. Will they make a run at Trevor Lawrence before turning to Sam Darnold? That'd be weird. Adam Schefter, 13 minutes ago, former Dolphins wide receiver Braxton Berrios has reached an agreement on a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Texans for services. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me as much. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that's a good get. That's a good get. Javon Kinlaw is a good get. Hey, Washington, I need y'all to relax. James said, I don't want Genty, but he's been palling around with Caleb, it seems. Yeah, I mean, listen, relationships do matter. And I'm not losing my mind one way or the other on it. Would I be upset if you went running back at 10? Sure. Am I going to sit here and act like I'm not going to cheer for him when he's running behind Drew Dalman and behind Joe Tooney and behind Jonah Jackson and behind Darnell Wright and moving people out of the way? Yeah, I'm going to be sitting there losing my mind going, oh, thank God we got him. Yeah, what a get. You know what I mean? But realistically, is it the move that I would make? No. And is it how I would build my team? No. But none of how Ryan Poles has built this team is how I would build my team. Because I would start with the big dudes up front so that when Genty came out, we could be at a point where I could go, well, you know what? I got everything else. Why not take the running back? I still think you need to address defensive line. I still think that you need to address some of the pieces on the defensive interior. Hopefully, Javon Dexter does take that next step. I still think that middle linebacker needs to be addressed. I still think there are still a bunch of pieces that you could address via the draft early on with that top 10 overall pick. Crizzy Cross, not to change the topic, but is Keenan Allen staying or leaving? Keenan Allen's gone. I don't think there's a conversation where the Chicago Bears bring back Keenan Allen. It doesn't make sense. You get the money, you get the picks if you go out there and move on from Keenan Allen. So it doesn't even make sense in my mind to try to bring him back in this situation. As is X back up? Let's see. Oh, X might be back up. Did they finally get things back up? I don't know. It's loading a little slow here. We're getting close. We're not there yet. I love that X went down on like the biggest day that it could have gone down on. Like there's no other day. Threads is winning today. Threads is absolutely winning today. Let's see. What's the difference if they take a running back in the first, second, or third? I want the best player available. That's the difference. That's the difference. There is no situation where 5 years down the road, the running back is still the best player available. There is no situation. Ezekiel Elliott went before Ronnie Stanley. You think Dallas wouldn't want Ronnie Stanley right now? Ezekiel Elliott is unplayable. There's no situation where 10 years down the road, and realistically, he's been unplayable for about 4 years here, where the running back is going to be the better long-term piece than one of the top 10, one of those guys that lands as a top 10 defensive lineman. You know what I mean? So to me, that's why for me, I wouldn't go with that conversation unless Ashton Genty ends up being Oh God. Gucci Finesse said there's definitely a situation if the linemen aren't good, they aren't good. I guess, but there are good linemen in this draft. To me, that doesn't make sense. There's a ton of good linemen in this draft. Bro, that Kinlaw deal is crazy. 3 years, $45 million, 30 guaranteed for Javon Kinlaw. That's some money, dog. That's some money. Let's see if we can if we get any more news here. We're over 500 in a chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I loved you know, I was trying to debate whether I should go live for this or not. Or not for this news, but just go live for the entire free agency period. And I was like, I'll go live when some news breaks because the Bears always end up, oh God, I'm going live. I guess I'm going live. Here we go. Robert E. Taylor, Pat, I get what you mean about getting 10-year players, but have you forgotten the name of the game is to try and win a championship before you have to pay Caleb? The name of the game is to try and win as many championships as possible. You're going to have to pay Caleb. And if Caleb puts you in a position where you got to win championships, Caleb puts you in a position where you can win championships. The name of the game is to win as many rings as possible. You win as many rings as possible, usually by having those long-term players that are on a team for an outstanding amount of time. What do we got? Let's get Sweat and Chase Young. Chase Young to me is, I don't know. You know, Chase Young to me, the motor issues concern me. And he doesn't help you in the run game at all. I think that's the part for me with Chase Young that I don't like. That's the part for me with Chase Young that I do find concerning. Boom. My bad. I had to make a post on Threads there. That's the only thing for me with Chase Young. I like the sack numbers. I like how aggressive he is. I like how he gets after the quarterback. But is it on every play? We know it's not. Is he going to be involved in the run game? We know it's not. We know he's not. You know what I mean? That's the part to me that always concerns me. McMuffin said the name of the game is trust Ben Johnson and make sure Caleb Williams brings the town a Super Bowl. Yeah, for sure. But you got to give Ben Johnson good players still. You know what I mean? You got to give Ben Johnson the kind of players that he's able to go out there and be successful with. Listen, I think Matt Eberflus was a joke of a head coach. And I thought it when you hired him. I didn't know what the heck he was. I think you're in a much better situation right now if you're the Chicago Bears than not. But I can't sit here and tell you that Matt Eberflus was given the best crop of players every single year to go in there and figure it out. I don't think that Shane Waldron is a great offensive coordinator. But I also think it's very difficult to call an offense when all of your offensive linemen are laying on their back, sitting there singing R&B hits from the 90s. God, give me the reason I'm down on bended knee. That was your starting center. That was just starting center. Bear down, Mike, with signing Dalman, does Poles go after Trey Hendrickson? From what I've heard, they were always in on the Trey Hendrickson situation. Doesn't mean they're going to get it done, but they've definitely talked to the Bengals about a possibility of Trey Hendrickson. So it'll be interesting to see if there is some situation where they get that done. It'll be interesting to see if there is some situation where they go out there and get that done. Looking to see if there's any more news coming down the pipeline. Of course, we'll be live for any major breaking news here that does happen around the Chicago Bears. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Lloyd Brodnack says, I'm liking either of the running backs from Ohio State. Yeah. And to me, those are the guys that really fit this situation. If you want to go with other big names, there's so many running backs that you could take that makes sense here. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa makes sense here. Omarion Hampton out of UNC makes sense here. And to me, the big name is Ashton Genty, but there's so many names that fit what the Bears want to do here that I don't think that it's a crazy world if you don't take Genty. What do we got here? It's the 5th year. This sucks for a top 10 running back pick. Even Gibbs and Bijan not really worth the money. Yeah, listen, that all plays into it. By the time you get there, by the time you get to that 5th year, you're really looking and going, well, we kind of need some other pieces, but we got to pay you 5th year money. That's tough. I think if we got to give up a 2nd round pick for Hendrickson, we give him a 2nd round pick for 2026. Listen, I've heard everything as far down as the possibility of a 3rd round pick for Trey Hendrickson, because it's going to be tough for them to deal for him when you know the kind of money that Hendrickson is going to command. And teams are going to have to restructure their team based on the kind of money that Trey Hendrickson is going to command. If I've got to restructure my entire roster because I want to pay Trey Hendrickson $30 million, which, by the way, may have gone up with Myles Garrett getting $40+ million. Like, I don't think he I don't think that he outpays Myles Garrett, Robert. He says, do you think that Trey will want $45 million? How do you feel about it? No, I don't think that he gets paid more than Myles. I think you're in the 30 to 35 range. And I think that means, listen, I'm not really in the market to trade for a guy and dismantle my entire team to get him. Now, if I can get him around 30, I think there's moves you can make to make that work. But also, and I said this the entire time, do you just look at the draft? And this is why, to me, when people are talking, oh, Pat, this means running back. No, this means I still need somebody opposite Montez Sweat. This means I still need somebody on the opposite side of Montez Sweat. And now at 10, I can focus in on going to get that guy opposite of Montez Sweat. That's what this means to me. Blorange Tears said polls for president and polls we trust. Got Drew. Now we need to add speed everywhere. Great channel and host. Appreciate you, Blorange Tears. Appreciate you, my guy. See if we got any new news coming here. Jaguars are signing Jordan Lewis per insiders and Peter Schrager. He becomes the NFL's highest paid nickel cornerback. Jeez. How much did they give him? That hurts. That hurts for us. How much did they give him? We got to know how much he got, because we're going to have to pay Kyler Gordon. And to me, I think Kyler Gordon is probably the best nickel DB in the NFL. I did not want to see that news. Does somebody got a number on that? Does anybody have I did not want to see that news. Because again, when you're talking about team building, right? To me, there are certain players where I'm going all in on them. There's certain players where I do have a limit. DBs, I got a limit. Why? Because I can find DBs. I got to pay these trenches. No matter what, I got to pay these trenches. It's not pay Kyler Gordon or bust. I feel the same way about Tyreek. I feel the same way about Jaquan. I feel the same. I'm trying to get these trenches right. The Games Report said we don't have to dismantle like you guys were saying to let Cole go. Listen, I'm saying to let Cole go if you can get an all-time pass rusher. I'm not just saying let Cole Kmet go. I think Cole Kmet's a good tight end. Chrissy Cross said he got $45 million. 45 over what? 45 over 3, I'm still in good range there. 45 over 4, I'm still in good range there. I'm in great range at 45 over 4. Who do you think the Bears will target at wide receiver? I mean, they could be in on Boyd, Isaiah, or not Boyd. What's old boy name from Texas? In the third round, I can't think of his name right now, from Texas. And I think there's names that they definitely could be in on. The Rams are bringing back cornerback. I'm assuming he meant quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo. He's getting a 1-year deal. Isaiah Bond. That's what I couldn't think the first name. I think Isaiah Bond in the third round. That makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. I'm not tripping on the speed. I know everybody was like, they saw his 40 time and was like, oh my God, how can you not take he didn't run a 40 time. How could you take him that high? Bro, I watched him run NFL routes. Not worried about his 40 time. Bro, it's not easy to find a DB, DBs, fam. Our nickel position was the worst for a while. Rodgers killed us on third down for a decade. Yeah, but it's been easy for Ryan Poles to find DBs. It hasn't been easy for previous GMs to find DBs. It's been difficult for Ryan Poles to find the trenches. We got so many DBs on this team. It don't make sense how many DBs we got on this team. That's the position that and I love that he's like, yeah, safety, toughest position to assess. I feel like you've assessed safety perfectly. I feel like you've assessed DB perfectly through this entire process. Trying to see if anything else drops here Bears wise. I'll give it till we get to about 30 minutes on the video, and then I'm gonna drop off. Of course, we'll jump back on if any more news breaks, but stay tapped in with us here, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Tony Williams saying backup QB, is that a focus? Could be. I think that could be an option for the Chicago Bears as well. I think that could be something interesting that you could go after, but they really, really like the quarterback room that they have here. And to me, that's why you go out and you get JT Barrett. To me, that's why you go out and you get JT Barrett. You know what I mean? So we'll see what ends up happening in the backup quarterback room. I don't think that you're moving on from Bajan anytime soon. Would you try Bajan? I don't know what that means. Would I try Bajan? Like try to trade him? Pterodactyl Pops, watch the minute after you hop off. The Bears will sign somebody and make a trade for Hendrickson. And you know what? We'll be right back on. That's how we do it out here. We'll be right back on. Yeah, J.C. Horn, 4 years, $100 million, $108 million max was crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I understand it. I understand it from that situation. I don't think that's a terrible signing for the Panthers if you feel like you're not that far away. And I think the quarterback position and the offensive line that they saw last season, they felt a lot more confident leaving that season than they did kind of where they started it. Looks like some things have slowed down, but like Pterodactyl Pop said, it could end. We could hop off. And then we'll be right back on, and y'all going to be back in here again. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Stay tapped in with us. Hold on. What you got? 3 years? 3 years, $30 million for Jordan Lewis? It's not that bad. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not tripping that. I thought, is it 3 years, 45 and 30 guaranteed? How's that contract falling? Nova, what time you gonna be on Bleach Report? Thought I heard you say you were going on there. We were on there this morning from 9 to 10:30 Chicago time, so we went on Bleach Report already. I think you can check that out on the Bleach Report app if you want to tap in and see me and Hayes breaking down some of the free agency moves that could have come, and some of the moves that we talked about live have already happened. So, I like this. Now go get a DT. 100%. Oh, we got a little notification. What do we got? Trying to see. Patriots are signing Raiders linebacker Robert Spillane to a 3-year deal. He was the captain for New England's OC Josh McDaniel in Vegas. So Mike Vrabel thus far has brought in known commodities. Ooh, that's an interesting get for him. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love and get up out of here. Of course, if any Bears news breaks, we'll be right back on this mug, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bet down. One love. Peace.